Good evening and welcome to my Facebook Live this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me live, and if you're watching on catch up or on YouTube later, although I won't be able to converse with you, I will reply to any comments that you may have. So, this week and last week we were working with the Prized Peony stamp set, and one thing I haven't done with this stamp set, which is this one here, is a stamped one sheet wonder. Hi Molly, hi Katie. So I thought I'd better put that right today. So I am going to use I'm not going to use this particularly large one, but I am going to use this one, and the two leaves, and that funny little background stamp. They're going to be the main features. I may add a few dots and things like that, but they will be the main features of my one sheet wonder. And the colours that I've chosen to work with are Highland Heather, Seaside Spray and Pear Pizzazz. No particular reason why I chose those, they just came to me really. So I have already mounted up the stamps on their blocks ready. So let's get cracking. Whoops, sorry if I knocked the camera then. So I am using our A4 shimmer white card, so it's slightly off white as opposed to our crisp white, which I do really like for a one sheet wonder because it's a slightly softer background. It also has a shimmer to it, but with the light as it is, you're not going to see that shimmer on the screen. Just going to bring that blind up. Hopefully there's not a lot of sunlight here. Plenty of light but not a lot of sunlight, so I'm hoping you'll still be able to see that okay. So let me open up my ink pads. So there's Highland Heather, Seaside Spray, so they're going to be the two main colours for my flowers, and then I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz for my leaves. So let us get cracking. So I think what I'm going to do is a sort of curve like that. We'll see, that's my rough plan. Sorry, I've got my coffee here. I didn't realise what the time was. It suddenly arrived at 7 o'clock and I still had my coffee there, so do apologise if I have a sip of that later. So I'm going to start out with the large image here, and I'm going to ink it up in Highland Heather, and I'm going to start off the page quite high. I'm going to add another one at full strength. Let's turn this around. This does sort of work together quite nicely, I think, because of the shape of the flower. And another one there, like so. So I've got the three going in together. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap and then bring this down a little bit and do the same. So I've got a full strength. I could add, could do Gorgeous Grape. That would also work. And then I'm just going to do another one. This one's going to be a little bit closer. You can see what a pretty stamp this is. And you don't even need to colour this in if you don't want to, because the detail is in the stamp. You can of course colour it in. because this is shimmer white, I could use one of my water painters to paint into that and add some extra colour. I have also got another idea that I might try on some of them, and that is to use another stamp to colour them in. I'll see how we go. So there I've got 3 sets of 3 at slightly different angles. Now I'm going to introduce the smaller one, which I'm going to do in Seaside Spray. Now I know this has got some leaves on it, but I'm just doing it all in one. So I'm going to add these sort of in between. Hi Tracy. So just sort of working my way around, like so. And then I'm going to add some that are stamped off as well to get a different effect. I'm just turning this round, like so. It's been quite a while since I've done a one sheet wonder. Seems quite strange. I had a batch where I did a whole lot and then I haven't for a while, so it's funny how you get out of the habit. I have to go back and have a look at another one of Ruth's examples. So Ruth Trice from Artful Stampin is really one of the main initiators of this style of stamping, and she's very good at it. If you haven't seen her, she's definitely worth following on YouTube. So I've got this sort of nice flowing panel, hopefully, like so. Let's introduce some leaves. So I've got the 2 leaves from the peony set. I also picked out the 2 separate leaves from the sunflower set, so I could have some smaller leaves tucked in. So I'm going to do a combination of those, and what I like about these is there's no stalk at the bottom, so it makes it really easy to tuck right in. So I'm just going to stamp this off because I'm not sure how dark this is. Okay, because I don't want it to overpower the flowers themselves. So I am going to stamp it off once in each case, like so. If you can see that. Obviously, if you have really bold flowers, then you can step up the colours of the leaves. So I'm just working my way around. Not in any particular order, as you can see. It's been one of those days. Had lots of happy posts going out today, so that was nice. I did have to make a trip to the post box in the pouring rain, however. But there we go. We're lucky we're not being battered by anything more than a local storm. I have to say that the wind has died down greatly here from what it was a couple of days ago. I don't know if it was the same for anybody else. Tracy or Bridie? Yeah, Spidey, you've done some really classic ones, haven't you? On Sheet Wonders. It might have been you that put me onto Ruth in the first place. Or Babsy. One or the other. But I think you were certainly up there with the early ones that was watching her. Okay. So now I'm going to use these little smaller leaves. Now I could introduce quite a few other flowers to this, but I really want this to have the peonies as the focal point. So I forgot to stamp this one off, so I am going to add a couple that are not stamped off, just to balance that out a little bit. There we go. Might put another one up here. Colours look really pretty together. I'm happy with those. There we go. Okay, so I hope you can see that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up so that each card I make will have a portion of that and a portion for the sentiment. I've got a couple of ideas what I might do differently for some of them. Let's add a few little dots here and there. So this is, I put the Highland Heather ones by the Highland Heather, and you can also dot them in between. And you could also use dots to actually colour in part of an image if you wanted to. So where I've got a few gaps in there, I can add a few extra dots. Have I got any large pieces missing? No, I don't think so. Let me clean that off, and I'll add some blue. So this is Seaside Spray, so I'm going to add that where I've got the seaside flowers on the end. Just a little bit in there as well, like so. There we go. Now, if you decided that you didn't want this quite as open as that, what you could do is grab an infill stamp. So this is actually from the poppy set, Painted Poppies, and it's a very similar shape to these flowers. So I'm not going to do it all the way over because I want to see what the overall, I want to see what it looks like maybe on one portion of a card. So what you can do is ink this up, stamp it off first if you need to, I may not need to, and then just cover the image, and maybe not stamp it off quite so hard, so that you're filling it in. And what you can also do is sort of a few sets of stamping, so you get a very soft infill. Like so. You can turn that round as well if you want. So, and if you can see the difference between these three here and these three here. So it just gives you a different look You could obviously use different stamps as well to get a similar effect. Use ones that were filled in, for example. But as I said, it was, as this is my stamp set of the week, again, for the second week running, I really wanted to use the peony as the main image. So I don't know which you prefer, whether you like the one that is filled in or whether you like the one that is open. I can't quite decide. I like both. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Let me know what you think. Got ink on my fingers already. Whether you prefer the filled in version or the open version. Oh, Brian's got thunder. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Hi, Carol. I have mentioned you, Ruth, already. So, Ruth is here. Ruth Trice-Magnus. If anybody doesn't know Ruth, she's a key instigator of this whole style of stamping and then cutting up. So, I'm concentrating on my Prized Peony, which is really the main set I've used here. I've added a few little extra bits. I have got this little funky background that I'm going to use from Prized Peony, and I have used this infill stamp from the Poppy set just to colour some of this in really quickly. I'm not quite sure which I prefer, whether I like the coloured in. I think I prefer the open ones, but I think that's because I've seen and used Prized Peony so much that I'm sort of expecting it to look like that, if that makes any sense. Molly likes it filled in. Riley likes both. That's fair enough, isn't it? So excuse me while I have a little bit more of my coffee, and then I'm going to add some of this little background as well, and then I'll show you something different that I have in store. I don't know whether it will work or not, but we'll give it a go. Right. So let's add a little bit of this, and I'm sticking to the same colours. I don't really want to introduce another colour. And this has got a very soft edge on one side. If I stamp it, you may be able to see it. It's got lots of little dots on one side. It's got some dots on the other side as well, but it's more pronounced on one side. So what I'm going to do is just literally add that in where I've got any gaps, and just a little bit on the edge. You can almost not see it, if that makes any sense, unless you're looking for it. So, and if you can see that in here, just a very small amount. So you could also use this for an extent of colouring in, if you wanted to. If you wanted it very subtle. So I'm just going to add those in there. Add a little bit in here. Like so. So I think that's going to be my main finished image. So what I'm going to do is cut that up and then do a few things with the different sections and see how that will work. So let me just grab my trimmer. I'm leaving these ink pads open because I'm going to do some extra stamping. So I am just going to literally cut this in half to start with at 14.85 centimetres, and then I'm going to cut those two in half as well at 10.5 centimeters, like so. So that I basically got 4 pieces now that I can work on, and I can determine how I want these to go. Now these are going to be trimmed down a little bit further, so let us see how that goes. So this one has got a nice bit of space here. I could get quite a big sentiment in there, but this is quite light, so I might do a little bit of extra infill to that one. This one could go any which way really. It could sit that way, it could quite easily sit that way with a sentiment if it was sort of long and thin and coming down. This one I think suits that position perfectly because of the way the leaves are sitting. And then this one I think it's going to work that way with maybe a long thin sentiment across there. So the first thing I'm going to try is I'm just going to add a bit more depth into this one. So I'm just going to use this poppy leaf. Now I don't want to lose too much detail because that is quite light. Do the same with this one, like so. Okay, now I could go over this one again, now I've done that colouring in, with a full strength one of these, or I could take Gorgeous Grape to it, make it darker, but I just feel now I want to make this darker. That didn't really work, did it? Because it was so close to the other one. So let me grab Gorgeous Grape, and then what I'm going to do is do it at a different angle, because all I've done is restamped it slightly off, and now it looks like I'm drunk. Katie likes it. Oh, most people like it open. Thank you. So if this one doesn't work, then I'm just going to cut more of that side off. Simple as. So that's the fun thing, is you can experiment. No harm is done. Yes, I think I'll get away with that. So I know that I've stamped that way, so I want to deliberately stamp it in a different direction so that I don't get that, that look that I've, stamped it twice and not very accurately. Okay, there we are. I'm happier with that because that brings that out now. Could do the same with this one. Now I'm tempted to. No, I'm going to leave that as it is. Let me wipe this one down as it's got Gorgeous Grape on it before I take that somewhere. Okay, so so the idea I had, and it really may not work, is I had on my stamp desk For You, which is from the Hugs For You set, because I used it yesterday with my rainbow card, this one here, and I thought it might be quite fun to almost put like a postmark on these and then the sentiment across the top. And I think I might introduce Early Espresso I wasn't going to, but I think because of the depth of colour now I've got with Gorgeous Grape, or shall I keep it light? All decisions. I suppose I could do it in Gorgeous Grape, maybe. So I was thinking I could do one here and one here. Let's just try it, unless I see there's a better one for me to do it on. Maybe I'll do it on this one. Let's see. So this is Gorgeous Grape. Hold your breath, everybody. And because everything has to go in threes, I want my third one. So it's just going to go off the edge. What do you think? Did it work? Just a bit different. Okay, let's have a look. Now I do have a smaller, because having seen that one I thought, I might try this one, which is Special Delivery from the Posted For You. So this stamp set matches our postage stamp punch, and that's got Special Delivery, and in fact Sending Love Your Way might look quite nice on there. Sorry, that's my dog scratching at the carpet. So I'm going to do Special Delivery on this one. Let me open the door for her. Let's see if I can persuade her out. Cassie, darling, do you want to go out? Door's open. Yes. She was digging to Australia. So let's try this one. So this one says Special Delivery. There we go. What do you think? Think that works? Is something different? I'm not offended if you say you don't like it. Okay, so let's add some sentiments onto those. So I did say Sending Love Your Way would look quite nice on there, didn't I? Because I think it will fit. Now bear in mind this is going to come down a little bit. Feels a bit squashed in there, doesn't it? I think that will work though. Second is your preference. What, this one here, Special Delivery. Perhaps the for you is a bit big and bold. But hey ho. Right, what have I got? I don't want Gorgeous Grape on that because I haven't used that. I'm going to use Early Espresso for my sentiment. No, I said here, didn't I? Hey ho. Okay. Gorgeous Grape. Let's just try it on here. Okay. and this will be cut down, so I'm just going to bring this down a little bit from the top. There we go. It's not very straight, is it? I might get away with it. Okay, let's put one to one side. Okay, this one I'm going to do a sentiment in Early Espresso, as I introduced that there. And I want something the right sort of size. Let's Celebrate You is a bit big. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. That would fit in there. Let's go for it. And this is Early Espresso. Right, let's see how straight this is to the block. That's not very straight, even I can see that. Oh, not as bad as I thought. There we go. I swear that one's leaning up, down. We'll have a look in a minute. Okay, and then I've got these two here. I did quite like this, so I might do that on there. I can't believe the light is going. I know it's dull out there, but that's just not fair, is it really? We're hurtling towards, you know, winter and stuff, aren't we? And this one. And again, I'm choosing a different part of the flower. And I am going to do this one too. Because I coloured it in, I felt it it just needed some definition against the others, like so. So I've got So Sentimental here. Your friendship is a blessing, or I can't thank you enough. So I can't thank you enough would certainly fit in there. But Your Friendship is a Blessing is a better size because it's wider. So I'm just looking at the overall picture. So let's add that one in. And I'm going to do that in Gorgeous Grape. Thank you, Bridie. Right, let's see how straight this is to the block. Very slightly downhill. There we go. Nice sentiment. And then finally we've got this one here, which I think would also work with that sentiment. Why not? There we go. Voila. Okay, right, let me put those stamps out of the way. Let me cover these up. Might add a little bit of blue dots in there, just so it reflects here. So if you do a one sheet wonder and you've got little patches missing, don't be afraid to modify each panel. You don't have to keep it exactly as the others. You can make them look all quite different if you want to. Okay, so I have got some Highland Heather base cards. I'm going to cut this down. And I did pick out black, but I think it'll be okay for that one. Where I've got early espresso, I'm going to switch it to early espresso, I think. Let's have a look and see. So this one would also work. So I've also got Seaside Spray. So that if I've got more Seaside Spray, actually maybe that one would be better on Seaside Spray. No, I think this is too much more powerful, so that would be better, like so. Let's see what we've got here. This one I could get away with Seaside Spray and an early espresso layer. This one and I might have to grab, what I might do is grab a gorgeous grape for that, and I'll get away with the black only because I've already cut it. Or I might just do Highland Heather, yeah, with the black. So I just need another Highland Heather and some early espresso for my layers. And I can add some bling as well if you feel I need bling. Thanks, Bridie. Right, Highland Heather. So if any of you are wondering, I keep my card in a filing cabinet where you would normally keep hanging files. So I have them in their colour collections, and then I have them in alphabetical order within that. But also you could have the whole thing alphabetical if you didn't want to keep them in the colour collections. So I'm just cutting this down to size, and then I'll cut the panels down slightly smaller. So these are 14.35 by 10 centimeters, and that will give me a ½ centimeter border all the way around, and I will cut my panels ½ centimeter smaller again. So I've got two of those. I always cut my card in half first, because then if I don't use that half, I know then I can make a card out of this. I know it's the right size to start with, if that makes any sense. So my pieces are always multiples of A6. Okay, so this is 10. There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean for you to watch me just doing cutting of card. And this one I'm going to score in half this way round. So I've got a landscape card folding up the left hand side. There we go. Right, let's see what we've got. Oh, I need this for the white pieces. Okay, let us see what we've got. So there's that one. So I'm going to cut that layer down shortly. Swap out the black. I could put Gorgeous Grape behind it. That will be that layer. This one is going to go onto the seaside, like so, just bringing in the early espresso to match that. And this one here I think I might swap that out as well, have them all early espresso. Instead of, I don't know why I thought black. Go. Voila. Right, let's move this one out of the way. And then let's cut these down to size. I'm going to cut the bottom off rather than anything at the top for this one. And this is going to be 9.5 centimeters. And remember, you can use these pieces here to decorate the inside of the card. And then I've got to take off a centimeter here. So I'm going to take it off this right hand side, so I bring that sentiment over like so. That's one. This is the next one. I think you're right, Bridie. The other one is better because this is very full on, isn't it? Maybe because I did it in Gorgeous Grape, it's sort of quite bold, to say the least. So I've taken that whole section off there, and I'm going to bring it off to the left as well. Like that. Okay, this one is nice and easy. I'm going to take it across the top. So this becomes 9.5 centimeters. And on the right hand side, so I bring this one over. Also got a tiny little mark in there. So I can lose that on the way. That one. And then finally this one here, again that's an easy choice, going to take it off the top and probably off the left hand side so that this sentiment is more connected. So you can measure 1 centimetre here, that's the easiest way to do it, or you can measure 9.5 centimetres there, whatever you prefer. Right, there we go. Right, so let's put these together. So I'm literally just going to layer this one onto the espresso onto there. See what glue I've got. I've got wet glue here. So just a scribble like so. That's going to go onto my espresso layer. So. Okay, and then that one onto there. Often with a one sheet wonder, it doesn't feel right when you've got it all as one panel. You think, oh, I'm not quite sure about it. But I always recommend, if you're not sure about it, to cut it up, because you do get quite a different look. Now I've cut mine straight into 4 pieces, but you could, for example, cut a diagonal across there and make 2. You could cut this panel itself into 3 and do a triptych layout. There's lots of different things you can do. So it's always worth, if you're not happy with it as a full sheet, then cut down the layers. And if you get one piece that you're not happy with, then that doesn't matter. You can always use the back of that, or throw it away, or cut it up and use it for something else. You can use it as a background for something. Use it to create some background strips for another card. There's always lots of things you can do. So this is the one that's cut the other way. I hope the light is okay for you, because I have got my overhead light on, so there may be a bit of shadow. It won't be long before I'll have to either make this an earlier session or put my full daylight lamps up for you. So we'll see how we go. The only problem with having extra lamps is A, you have to watch the shadows, and B is the space. Luckily I have a windowsill, so I can put things on my windowsill, which is lower than this. There we go. This is definitely getting lower, but it's the perfect amount for backgrounds, because you don't want to heap too much on. There's that one. There we go, and then this one here. And we're done. Yes, I do quite like it with that special delivery postmark. So that is from Posted For You. And that one's going on the Seaside Spray background. So say there's 1/2 centimetre between each of these layers. There we go. So, do we need to bling it up? This is the question, ladies. Obviously you could add some Wink of Stella anyway to the flowers to make them shimmery. Let me see what bling I've got that I can add to that. Oh, that's okay, Verity. Tags? Oh yes, that's a good idea. Matching gift tags. That would definitely work. So it's a one cheap wonder, as you probably gathered, Verity, in the style of Ruth Tries. I don't know if Ruth is still here or not. But using as a main just the Prized Peony. So all of these flowers and leaves, apart from these leaves and the postmark on the dots, are all from Prized Peony, as that's part of my stamp set of the week, or stamp set of the 2 weeks, I should say. So it's my last session tomorrow, so I don't know if it'll be peony or whether it'll be something else. I'll see how I go. It should be my family crafting session tomorrow. I'm just looking to see if I've got any more holiday rhinestones. I do, but not in that. I've got some green ones which would pick up the green of the leaves. Thank you, Bridie. So I've got a mixture here, so I'm going to use, on this one I'm going to use just a few of these little green gems. One here, one here, and one here, like so. And then these are mainly Gorgeous Grape. There's a little bit of more green on this one, so I'll do this one green and then I'll just do the other ones plain. You could of course colour them in with your blends pen if you've got a Gorgeous Grape or Highland Heather pen. So there's that one with the green, and then I'm just going to use, I say plain, they're hardly plain because they're so pretty, but let's just bling this up a little to finish off. There's that one, and then this one here, and we're all done. So I'm lucky enough to be joining the Leaders Summit with Stampin' Up, which is starts tonight and goes on all weekend. So I'm not sure what state I will be in on Monday, because the activities are based on American Mountain Time. So they start here at 9 in the evening tonight, which is sort of midday in the States. And I think tonight's session is just a couple of hours, so I'll be okay tomorrow. And then tomorrow night's session starts at 7 in the evening, I think, and goes through to 3:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. And then we have another session Saturday night. So if I'm talking any sense after that, it will be a miracle. So you could pop this either across the bottom or down the side, which I think is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to add some glue here, if I can. There we go. Then I'll trim the excess off. It's always best to do that rather than cut it to size, because if you cut it to size, you guarantee it'll be a millimetre out, and it's always under, it's never over, is it? Okay, so that's introducing that panel with the little delivery postmark on there. So I'll trim that bit off. And then let's see what else we've got here that we could utilise. So those are, I've only got a tiny little bit on it. That one there would work. Let's see. So this one opens that way again, so that would also work quite nicely here on that right hand side. And it would just fit. I must have cut it from the piece after I cut it in the other direction. There we go. So you can either leave a gap or you can put it right to the side. I tend to leave a gap, but I don't know why. There we go. Let me just trim that one down and we're done. There we go. So just watch out for that bit of glue on your scissors if you cut it. Let's pop that straight away. And there we are. There's our 4 cards from our single sheet. I'm wondering which one I like the best. And I think possibly this one, because I feel it's nicely framed, and this one. Those would be my 2 top choices. This one, as I said, is just a bit overpowering, isn't it? But I like the sentiment with that, sending love your way for you. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed watching those. As I say, not rocket science today, just a standard stamped 1-sheet wonder, cut into 4 and mounted into 4 cards, using Prized Peony, my stamp set of the week. So anybody ordering Prized Peony from me as a stamp set will get 6 pieces of the matching papers sent to you, ready to make some cards. And if you order the Peony Bunch, which is the stamp set and the dies, then you'll get the 6 pieces of designer paper plus 6 cards and envelopes to go with it. So that's my offering to you for Prized Peony for my stamp set of the 2 weeks. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you spending time on a Thursday evening. So thank you to Verity, to Bridie, who else do we have? Skip back. Katie, Tracy, Molly, Ruth, is she still here? I know she's busy. I think I said hi to everybody. Oh, WD-40. Oh, good God. What will WD-40 get off? Da-da-da. Dirty. I'm wondering. I do have to clean my blocks, I know that. I tend to put my blocks in the dishwasher, that's for sure. Okay, so that is everything. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. I'm glad, Friday, that I've inspired you this evening. And because you do some wonderful one-sheet wonders, so maybe we'll see some more of those from you in due course. Thanks for joining me this evening, everybody. Look after yourselves, look after your loved ones. Please do stay safe, take care and keep crafting. Bye-bye.